get ready to be stunned, because what you're about to witness is pure insanity on wheels. From truckers defying gravity on deadly roads to fails so outrageous you'd swear they were ripped from a comedy sketch. This is where heavy machinery meets human error, and where one bad call means absolute destruction. What you are looking at is total foolishness in action. How does a driver look at that fragile plank bridge and think this fully loaded timber hauler can make it? This is not bravery. This is blind ignorance wrapped in 40 tons of wood and wishful thinking. This is a heavy haulage operation, transporting 2 massive CO2 gas tanks from the Barlage Company in Hasseluna to Durban. Just look at that truck. The structure, the sheer size of the wheels. That was a beast on the road. One of the tanks tipped, and it was absolutely shocking to witness. Sure, the camber of the road likely played a role, but that's exactly the kind of variable that should have been factored in during the planning phase. A load this massive needs precision, and in this case, something clearly went wrong. When you're hauling a beam this massive, every detail matters. The driver's experience, the rigging setup, how that load is strapped down. But in this case, it was a disaster waiting to happen. Look at those chains, almost vertical. That setup gave the load room to shift. Add to that a driver going way too fast for such an unstable load, and you've got a recipe for chaos. Worst of all, he didn't even notice the rear tire was drifting far to the right, enough to smack straight into the edge of a concrete structure. This accident could have been avoided. The driver ignored basic safety protocols for hauling a heavy load downhill, and it shows. Watch the truck. It starts to accelerate, gaining momentum where it should have been slowing down. That's an example of what not to do. Had the driver eased down the hill at a controlled pace, this situation could have played out very differently, but instead, reckless speed plus a heavy load equals disaster. When you're hauling logs, you've got to respect the load, because these things can be top heavy. Now this setup looks like a hay rack, and trust me, they handle nothing like a standard log truck. But something was seriously wrong with the truck. The tractor's wheels were off the road and not balanced. That's a big structural issue. This all comes down to one simple habit: a proper pre-trip inspection and regular walkarounds. If this driver had done even a basic check, or just paid attention, he would have seen the damage before ever taking the load off the landing. This right here is a steering direction failure. And any seasoned driver will tell you, never, and I mean never, under any circumstances, reverse load a truck the wrong way. The same rule applies when you're loading on an incline. You go up in reverse, and you come down forward. That's the golden rule. Break it, and you're asking for a mess. And in this case, that's exactly what happened.
Ёбаный в рот, блядь.
This was an accident just waiting to happen. A truck speeding down the highway with a heavy load and no strapping? That's not just careless, it's dangerous. Strapping a load gives it stability. It keeps everything in place, especially at high speeds or during sudden turns. Without it, the load can shift, fall, or tip the whole truck. You don't mess around with that kind of weight. Safety rules exist for a reason, and ignoring them on the highway, that's how disasters happen. Transporting metal rolls is one of the most dangerous jobs out there. These things are heavy, like thousands of pounds heavy. One wrong move, and it can all go bad fast. And that is just what happened. The force slamming into the trailer head shows how these rolls can crush metal, flip a trailer, or even kill the driver. This kind of load needs serious planning, strong strapping, and a driver who knows what they're doing. When you're hauling tons of steel pipe at highway speeds, bad planning turns a transport job into a death trap. These pipes should have been choked, strapped, and locked with industrial-grade restraints. Just look at that. The pipes didn't just move. They pierced through the front of the truck like they were launched. And honestly, no one should survive something like this. Transporting a massive beam of this size isn't just a job. It's a high-stakes mission where precision and precaution are non-negotiable. In a turn like this, centrifugal force becomes your enemy. The driver must reduce speed well before the bend, account for weight distribution, and never oversteer. But here, that delicate balance was broken, and the consequences were devastating. Now that is a wrong turn. Roll it back. Watch it again. The moment the driver takes the curve at speed, it's over before he even knows it. Right here, that was the critical error. Making a sharp turn while still carrying momentum from high speed. That is like taking a knife and stabbing yourself. When a heavy vehicle enters a curve, centrifugal force pulls outward. If speed isn't reduced, the center of gravity shifts past the tipping point, leading to a dead end. Now that is a failure to perform the most basic, critical safety check in trucking, the tug test. Before any driver hits the road with the load, they're trained, taught, and warned to do one simple thing: pull slightly forward after coupling. And this responsibility makes sure the trailer is locked and secure. The tug test ensures the kingpin is fully locked into the fifth wheel. Without it, you're gambling with thousands of pounds of cargo and potentially lives. Trucking is one industry where you can go from hero to zero faster than some cars go 0 to 60. And what you're watching is exactly that. The rear wheels are gone, torn off, and yet the driver just keeps going. The rear axles aren't just there for support, they are key to maintaining load balance, braking power, and trailer stability. Lose them, and you're driving a ticking time bomb. This is just raw recklessness behind the wheel of a multi-ton machine. This is the kind of moment where everything should have gone catastrophically wrong, and yet it didn't. At first glance, you think the railing saved the day. When the load struck the road surface, it transferred a significant portion of the impact energy downward, not outward into the railing. This dramatically reduced the force the railing had to absorb. The center of gravity also played a critical role. The load was still half on the truck bed, meaning the truck acted like a counterbalance, preventing a full tip over. Now, this is not just a mistake. It's a masterclass in what not to do on a curved road. Because every experienced driver knows the golden rule. You slow down before the curve, not halfway through it. But no, this driver decided to channel his inner James Bond, flying through the bend like he's auditioning for the next action film. Only this isn't Hollywood. This is real life, with real consequences. Take a good, hard look at this setup, because from the moment the load was placed on this aging truck, this was a ticking time bomb. This truck has passed its prime, no doubt, but absolutely not fit for this kind of heavy-duty haul. In transport, your equipment is only as strong as its weakest link, and when that link is an overworked relic of a truck, disaster isn't a question of if, it's a matter of when. Now that right there is a massive crossing. You're not just watching a truck drive, you're witnessing sheer boldness meeting brutal terrain. This isn't just any puddle. This is axle-deep, wheel-sinking, torque-testing mud. To move a fully loaded truck through this, it takes more than horsepower. It takes guts, grip, and flawless throttle control. Now that is a big failure. When it comes to transporting timber, precision isn't optional, it's mandatory. You're dealing with raw weight, shifting mass, and unpredictable terrain. One wrong move, and everything goes down. Overtaking at that kind of speed, at the outer edge of the road, that's not just dangerous, it's a guaranteed ticket to disaster. Heavy trucks aren't built like sports cars. They carry a high center of gravity, meaning any sudden imbalance, especially at speed, can tip the whole rig over like a falling tower. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video.